Doreen Granpeesheh is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh.
Dr. Doreen Granpeesheh is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen. The teaching lady wrote in and said, I have a 3-year-old. He has bad gut health, has to make food changes and move towards veggies, which he hates. How can I introduce veggies without a smoothie option? He has a major yeast belly. Any suggestions?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I don't know, it's very, very, very hard to repopulate the gut with the appropriate bacteria. So when we have yeast issues, often they accompany the destruction of all healthy bacteria, which could have happened in a number of different ways. So when children are young, they often get ill and they're given antibiotics, and those antibiotics will destroy bad bacteria, obviously, but also good bacteria. And unfortunately, when we're not exposed anymore to foods or soil that can provide us the good bacteria, so a lot of times we now have to turn to the use of probiotics and prebiotics. Probiotics are actually small amounts of the good bacteria. And prebiotics are things foods, for instance, that will help us produce more of the good bacteria. The problem is that it is a friend of mine who's a very well-known chemist in this field said one time, using probiotics and prebiotics, it's honestly similar to trying to fill a beach with handfuls of sand. And so it takes a very, very long time. And the environment of the gut isn't necessarily one that promotes the growth of the healthy bacteria. So it's a very difficult process. Let's just put it that way. So my suggestion is, where possible, you get the help of a doctor. Usually there are a lot of kind of Eastern medicine or naturopaths or homeopaths who can help you with this process. And they will put you on very specific diets, as well as a number of different medications that will repopulate your gut. That's one thing. The other thing is you can also get the help of a really good dietitian or nutritionist who will help you with the foods that your child is consuming, because that whole process of yeast and bloating is not just about putting healthy bacteria back in. It is also about reducing or eliminating foods that will increase yeast or that will increase bloating. So there's a lot of different things you have to do. I would say that just to kind of give you some quick answers, foods that are high in sugar or grains will tend to increase, gluten, for instance, will tend to increase yeast pretty fast. So dietitians will want to put you on those types of diets that eliminate sugar and grains and many other foods as well that could potentially be growing yeast. There are medications for treating yeast when you have too much yeast. These can start as basic as nystatin, which is, you can give that to a baby, or you can expand, and your physician might put you on things that are a little bit stronger, like diflucan or Nizoral. There are other anti-yeast antifungal medications that will help. As far as the bloating goes, again, there will be they will do a lot of testing first, both urine and blood tests, to identify what exactly is going on. I mean, your child could also have overgrowth of bad bacteria. So we need to kind of find out what is going on there before you try to intervene yourself, right? So in terms of a really strong probiotic that I use sometimes and I really like, it is called VSL3. That's kind of my favorite probiotic. But again, I don't really, I don't suggest that you try to go at this on your own. It is important to have expertise. And Shannon, maybe Trayvon can help us put up kind of the MedMaps information, because obviously all of these folks, these doctors who are trained with MedMaps, they're very familiar with these protocols.
Absolutely. So correct me if I'm wrong, Trayvon, I think that it's medmaps.org,
Yes, I think so.
which is the place that you can go to. And what that is a site that will tell you doctors that have attended conferences that are for MedMaps. You're going to need to drill down a little bit more on your own. You don't want to just assume that everybody is created equal there, because each one of those doctors has a specialty. So, they might be somebody who is a homeopathic doctor. Someone might be a pediatrician. There's at least one that I'm aware of that's a really good one. His specialty is sports medicine, but he happens to be a dad of a kid on the autism spectrum. So he has a side practice where he also does this on the side. And his wife helps him to do that because they got very good at this. There are some that are neurologists. There are some that are allergists. They're all different, and they're in all different places all over the country. And some of them, I don't really know the designations, Dr. Granpeesheh. Some of them have been to more conferences, have certified, have done papers. Some of them not. Some of them have only been to one conference. So you really kind of have to do a little bit of your homework. There are some that we're aware of that we particularly like. I think both of us really like Dr. David Berger in Florida, who I just think is the be all end all. But there are many that we've had different contact with, and a lot of these people are really, really truthfully up on the latest research, and they're doing the latest research, that they know things that we wish that everybody knew. So great to have contact with one of those doctors and to have them be looking at things, because you're going to find, I certainly found early on, I had a great pediatrician who was very open to conversation, but said to me, I don't know enough about this, and I'm going to be watching what you do. And I said, can I bring you things and have you look at it and tell me your point of view on them? And we started a relationship that went on for 15 years. My son's I was so sorry to see him go. When my son's 18 years old, he doesn't go to a pediatrician anymore, but we learned a lot from each other. And he was willing to partner with a doctor that was a MedMap doctor, so that when we were doing any kind of an intervention, that he was on board with it. I think that that's the rare circumstance, though, I got to be honest. I think a lot of pediatricians, they either think they know it all, and they're not interested in knowing anything else, or they say, I don't know anything and I'm not interested in learning anything else. So, but that was ideal, having a MedMap doctor and having a pediatrician and looking at things. But I think, a lot of times when people find out about, obviously this parent already knows a fair amount, because they use the expression yeast belly. So that tells me that they know a thing or three, right? And I think what's important for all of us to remember is that you're never going to get rid of all the yeast, nor would you want to, that it's all about balancing it for the rest of your life and finding the right mix and getting to the right place. It can be tough, but it's a worthwhile battle. Boy, you will feel better if you start working on this.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And get the whole family involved. I mean, everybody starts eating a little bit better. Everybody starts feeling better. And you find the right level of sleep and water and good veggies and having things that are organic, and it's life-changing. It really is.
That's right.
If you found anything helpful in this video, please give us a like. In fact, make sure that you smash that subscribe button on YouTube and give us a like on Facebook. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram for important updates. And please download our free podcast wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time. Until then, give your kiddos a hug from me and one for you too. Bye-bye for now.
To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.